Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive, fundamental shift happening right beneath our feet in the creator economy. For years, right, the promise to independent creators was super simple. Make good content, build an audience, cross that monetization threshold, and earn your living directly from the platform. But the rules of the game are changing, and they're changing fast. The basic economics for small and independent creators are going through a profound transformation. If you're building a channel, a brand, or a business online, the strategies that worked even just 3 years ago, they might actually become your biggest liability tomorrow. So let's just dive right into this and see exactly what's shifting, why it's happening, and most importantly, how we can adapt.
So, picture this. On August 10, 2026, YouTube announced some pretty major changes to their partner program, taking full effect on February 1st, 2027. And for new creators wanting full ad revenue and premium revenue sharing, the bar hasn't just been raised, it's been launched into the stratosphere. You're now going to need 8,000 qualified public watch hours in the last 365 days, or, get this, a staggering 20 million qualified shorts views in the last 90 days. Sure, the subscriber requirement stays at 1,000, but those viewership thresholds, they are daunting. For an established creator, it's probably just business as usual. But for a small creator starting from scratch, it literally forces you to completely rethink your business model. You just can't afford to make platform monetization your first or your only objective anymore.
Which brings us to a really harsh but absolutely necessary reality. Distribution is just rented reach. Don't get me wrong, platforms like YouTube are incredibly valuable. They offer this massive discovery and distribution infrastructure that you don't have to build yourself. They can put your ideas in front of millions of people. But, and this is a massive but, you do not control the algorithm. You don't control the recommendation system, the ever-changing ad rules, or even how much of your own audience actually gets to see your next upload. When you rely 100% on the platform, your reach is conditional. It's rented.
Think of it like a dividing line you really need to understand. On one side, you've got platform tools, stuff like algorithms, recommendations, and ad rules. These are super powerful, sure, but they're temporary and entirely controlled by the platform. Now, on the other side, you have creator assets. These are things you actually own, your products, your intellectual property, your communities, and most importantly, the trust you've built. The really dangerous trap for small creators is optimizing entirely for those platform tools. They're constantly chasing more views, more subs, more watch time, always asking, how do I make the platform pay me, instead of asking the real question, how do I make the people who discover me actually trust what I create?
You know, a creator could literally spend years building an audience, getting hundreds of thousands of followers, only to wake up one day and realize they're entirely dependent on this conditional reach. Just one algorithmic tweak, one policy update, or even a shift in what audiences want, and yesterday's brilliant strategy is completely obsolete. Now, this doesn't mean platforms are bad. Not at all. It just means a platform is a distribution system. Platform does not equal ownership. It should be the front door to your business, not the entire house.
To really see why this is so urgent right now, we just have to look at the platform's own rules. YouTube's July 2025 policy updates went hard after what they call inauthentic content. They are actively demonetizing channels that rely on mass-produced, repetitive templates. They're cracking down on AI-generated personas giving advice on sensitive stuff like health, finance, or law. If your strategy right now relies on churning out cheap, template-heavy, low-effort visual content, well, that road is a total dead end. The platform itself is basically screaming at us that generic content is not going to be rewarded anymore.
And why are they pushing these policies so hard? Well, because AI accelerates content production to near infinity. It used to take weeks and a huge budget to make a beautiful, cinematic video. Now, it takes seconds and costs practically nothing. And while that sounds like an amazing tool, it completely destroys the scarcity of visual production. When literally anyone can mass-produce stunning, generic content with a click of a button, simply having a good-looking video is no longer a competitive advantage for anyone.
So in this endless, boundless sea of identical AI-generated channels, why would an audience actually choose to stick around for you? The scarce asset is no longer production value. The scarce asset is perspective.
It's your genuine ideas. It's your unique philosophy. It's having a recognizable identity. Originality and authenticity matter more right now than ever before, simply because they are the only things an algorithm cannot generate for you.
So I want you to seriously consider this existential question. What remains valuable if the platform changes tomorrow? Think about it. If the algorithm suddenly hates your format, or those monetization thresholds double again, what do you actually have left? This is the core question every single independent creator has to ask themselves. We absolutely need to shift our focus away from the problem of platform dependency and toward the solution of brand resilience.
And the answer to that question? It's trust. A passive follower can vanish in an instant. An accidental view does absolutely nothing for your long-term stability. But trust? Trust is a whole different ballgame. If someone genuinely trusts your judgment, your expertise, and your perspective, that relationship survives any platform shift. You could move to a new platform, launch a product, or write a book, and that audience is coming with you because the relationship doesn't rely on the algorithm anymore. Trust accumulates over time, and true ownership is accumulated trust.
Which actually brings us to totally redefining a word we use all the time, brand. Now, traditionally, we think of a brand as, a slick logo, a color palette, or some clever marketing hook. But for a creator, a brand is something way deeper. A brand is accumulated trust made visible. It's that moment when your audience instantly recognizes your name and knows exactly what you believe in, what ideas you stand for, and what you will absolutely never compromise on. That kind of deep recognition, that is an economic moat that no platform can ever just take away from you.
And this redefinition builds a completely new architecture for your business. The old funnel was pretty straightforward, but it was fragile. Views lead to subscribers, which hopefully lead to monetization from the platform. But the trust-based funnel completely flips the script. You use the platform purely for attention. That attention earns trust. That trust forms your brand. That brand creates a direct relationship. And that relationship is where the actual value is secured. In this new model, the platform is just a mechanism for distribution. It is not your employer. Okay, so practically speaking, what should small creators actually be building instead of just frantically chasing after a monetized account? You need to focus on these 4 pillars. A totally unique point of view. A comprehensive body of ideas. Deep audience recognition. And direct relationships. Because here is the powerful truth. A highly trusted, tightly knit niche of just 2,000 loyal followers who actually share your beliefs can support a sustainable business far, far better than a passive, accidental audience of 2 million people who forget your name the second they scroll past. And that is the canonical definition of the trust-based brand model. Trust is the primary asset. Brand is the form of trust. Token is the voice of the brand. Now, for the scope of this explainer, we are laser-focused on just those first 2 principles. If you're an independent creator looking to survive and actually thrive, accumulating deep trust and making it instantly recognizable as a brand, that is your core framework for survival. Honestly, it's the only way to build something permanent in a digital landscape that literally changes every single day. As we bring this all together, I really want to leave you with a clear roadmap for how to view this whole ecosystem. The platform is not your enemy. It's an incredibly powerful tool. The platform can give you reach. It is your discovery engine. It facilitates that crucial first contact with someone who has never even heard of you before. But reach alone just isn't enough. Your brand can give you recognition. Your brand is that vital identity layer. It's the visible proof of your perspective that makes your work portable across any medium, whether that's video, text, or audio. And then that recognition deepens. Trust can give you a relationship. This right here is the absolute bedrock of your creator business. This underlying direct relationship is the true asset that completely protects you from algorithmic ruin, shifting monetization thresholds, and that endless flood of AI-generated noise. And finally, a relationship can become a business. This trust-based relationship is literally the only reliable mechanism we have that converts fleeting, temporary audience attention into sustainable, long-term economic value. It is what allows you to build products, services, communities, and IP that you entirely own and control. The trust-based brand model.
It's a total paradigm shift from playing the platform's game to finally playing your own. So I challenge you, take a really close look at your own content and your strategy today. Ask yourself honestly, what parts of your current business would genuinely survive if the platform changed its rules tomorrow? Build the audience, sure, but more importantly, build what the audience trusts. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.